Yo, don't walk into my room and tell Aiden not to be there. So, yeah. What's your name?
My name is William Gervais.
How old are you?
I'm 21 years old.
So, tell us about like how long you've been skiing and like your skill level.
So I skied throughout middle school, and I took a break in high school for a couple years. But then last year, my sophomore year of college, I got back into it. I developed a pretty decent skill of skiing. Like I wasn't terrible. Um, Pretty much better than I was in middle school.
Is it ever dangerous?
Was it ever dangerous?
Yeah.
I mean, it's the East Coast, so sometimes we'll hit some ice. So like if you're going down like the steep slope and you're trying to like carve almost, and then you'll just like skim right over the ice, and you'll just like fall down. Depends on how the direction you're going down the hill, but thankfully no ice was involved in my accident.
So now tell us about your accident.
February of 2020, late February of 2023. I was skiing at Sugarloaf in Maine. I already had skied a day before that, like completely fine. Was loving the mountain, having a great time with my friends. The next day I skied up with some other friends, and they were a lot more experienced than me, so they would always go fast. And I could keep up pretty well. Like I got down like maybe 5-10 seconds after them, like after the trail or whatever. It was about maybe like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So most of the day I've been done. I've been skiing with them all day, completely fine. And we did this one route. It was a route that I hadn't really done before, and they were just booking it. I think this may have been like the fastest that I had ever gone. Honestly, I was going really fast, and they were ahead of me. And I look up to see where I'm going, and I see like, I mean, I don't even think I noticed it, but there was like a lip. It was like, and I was going pretty fast, so like I hit the lip, I caught some air, and I must have been in the air for like maybe like 3 seconds, which doesn't sound like a long time, but and I landed, lost my balance, and then I just went right over my shoulder. I landed on my collarbone and my wrist. I remember I locked the wind out of myself. I was like, my other friend had actually also fallen, but he was fine. And I was trying to call his name, and I was like whimpering, almost. That was like really hard. Like getting my breath back was really scary. I was sitting there, and then all of a sudden I realized I was naturally just like cradling my arm, almost holding it up. And like I tried to move it, and my collarbone was just hurting. I was like, I knew I broke it pretty much. And then the ski patrol came. It took me forever to get into the sled for them to pull me down. Like my collarbone hurt so much, and I think they wrapped me up or something in the sled, and they got me out when we got down to the infirmary. And they took off my sweatshirt, my jacket, and my shirt, and you could just see a bump coming right out. I was so scared. Because I really hadn't broken like a real bone like that in quite a few years. And then my friend's mom picked us up, and we drove to the hospital. It was about an hour and a half drive because we were in the middle of nowhere, Maine. And that drive really sucked. Any bump in the road, I would just feel it throughout my collarbone. And after a couple weeks of getting checks on my wrist and my collarbone, it actually turned out that the wrist was the more scary injury because they weren't sure if I was going to fully heal back. But apparently collarbones heal back pretty quickly. Even like a year and a couple months after that fall, like I actually still have the bump. Hasn't fully gone back in. But yeah, no, my wrist, I had a cast on my wrist for like, I think 8 weeks almost. So that really sucked, but everything turned out good.
Is it recorded?
Yeah.
My name is Aiden. I'm 18 years old. I've always been interested in like a lot of the snow sports such as skiing, but I never really got the opportunity to do so. My real main sport though has always been football. I've been playing that sport since I could walk. I started playing football just because of my dad. Just when I was younger, he primarily wanted me to play baseball, but I was not having it. Football was really my thing. Same with my brother, and I think that was part of the reason why we grew up with such a football-based household. And when I got up to high school, I didn't necessarily start freshman year. Instead, I started sophomore, and I kind of grew as a football player on and on until my senior year, which is where I really hit my peak. It started going good. I was really doing well in the sport, started on both sides. We were killing it on our team, and we had previously won the state championship the year before until it kind of just spiraled downhill with my injury.
On 2nd and 12, Santa Suazo to the air. He's got his man on a slant. It's Bombara for a first down.
That's what I'm surprised we haven't seen more of. Sorry, Nick.
Tackled shy. And then Heenan to Amaro. Biggest lead on the board, 28-8. Is it Londonderry's night on their home field, or will Bishop Girton come back? We'll find out when we come back. There's an injured Londonderry player.
So I think it was the last play of the third quarter. We were facing Bishop Girton at one of our home games. It was mid-season, and I didn't really expect much. I ended up just getting into my D-line stance, the three-point stance, and just ready to hit anything that came in my way. And as I was trying to size up the defender in front of me, there was just one lineman that just came right from the side of my hip. Didn't see him coming, drove me, and I tried planting with my left foot, and my knee just couldn't handle my weight. As soon as I heard it pop, I knew something was wrong. I hit the floor, and it was no pain, but it was just more of shock at the time. And I just looked down at my leg, and there's nothing like seemingly wrong, but I knew something was wrong just the way it felt. And I just kind of laid there until my athletic trainer Michelle came through, and everyone was saying that everything was going to be all right, everything was going to be okay, he's going to come back, he'll heal up quickly, but I knew that wasn't the case. So I kind of walked off the field. I felt my knee kind of jolt and kind of buckle a little bit, but it happens, and I ended up tearing my ACL in one of our really big games, and that really shocked me at the time, but I just kind of had to learn to cope with like the repercussions and all the pain that I went through. I ended up going home that night. Didn't think much of the knee at the time. It didn't really hurt. I just knew that I probably wasn't gonna put my pads back on, at least for the remainder of my high school career. And the next morning is really when it was really bad. It was all swollen. It looked like a watermelon on my knee. And that's when I knew like I needed to act quick on these things so I could recover quickly, even if I didn't get the chance to play football again. After I got the swelling down, I ended up just wearing a regular like ACL brace or knee brace in general, so I could walk around before surgery. And then right after surgery, that's when my walking abilities kind of got hindered. So I couldn't walk for another couple months until I finally got back into it. I went from crutching to using one crutch and kind of limping around to ended up just walking with the brace until I could take it off eventually. And I'd say that was probably one of the harder parts, not being able to walk, because it's like, it was kind of demoralizing having my mom bring me everything, my food, having to limp over to use the bathroom or take a shower. It's kind of like, that's kind of me as my character. That was kind of demoralizing, but I think at the end, it kind of helped me out to kind of learn what it's like to have something like that happen to you in life, because we all go through different things, and some people don't get as very fortunate with their abilities at the birth or even throughout their entire life. So, hell yeah.
Up Todd as he comes into the Hausberg, and when you have a fall like this, you never like to see it in ski racing. It is part of ski racing. It's even harder when it's someone you know. He's coming across the side hill, extremely high speed. He loses his ski, hits the gate, and then it's a free fall. It's extremely steep in the Zil shoes, and he is really just tumbling. He was unconscious, and as a result, you pick him here, and the ski hits him. So he's on his uphill ski, and it knocks off the right ski. He's out of control. He's plummeting.
Welcome back to Cincinnati, where medical personnel have been working on Bill's safety, Damar Hamlin, for the last 9 minutes. Hamlin made a hit. He got up, took a couple of steps, and then just fell to the ground. We don't know, of course, the extent of his injuries, but the entire Bills team is out on the field right now. Several players are down on their knees. Other players are holding hands, praying. You can just see the worried looks on their faces. As soon as we have more, Joe, we'll pass it on up to you guys in the booth.
Made the save where RCS went down. And Ryan Buell goes head first over the final jump.
Steve, and we talked about just how big that jump is. He tries to get the tips down a little bit to bring himself down to earth, but that is not the way. That was... We have seen some hard and career-ending falls in the finish, and that ranks among the hardest.
Of all things. Boy. Well, we've seen stumbling, and when I'm talking about Hines needs some help to just remain upright.
Yeah, he got hit after this catch, just trying to make something happen. I think he got hit from behind, right there. Was the contact that knocked him down, and see the reaction he had after